Bob Hope had no idea his entire night was about to turn upside down. It started with a single phone call, April's voice shaking as she begged him to come to the police station. She needed him, and only him, to sit in as her appropriate adult. She refused to call Marlon or Rhona, practically pleading with Bob not to involve them. That alone was enough to set off alarm bells, but Bob pushed through the worry and rushed to her side. When he arrived, the truth hit him hard. April wasn't just in trouble. She'd been arrested for drug possession. The officers believed she'd been pulled into something far darker, tied to Ray Walters and Celia Daniels, two people with reputations no teenager should ever be anywhere near. April insisted it was all a huge misunderstanding, practically begging Bob to believe her. But there was a tension in her eyes he couldn't ignore. The interview began, and everything changed. April sat down across from D.S. Clark, and the moment the officer started questioning her, she shut down. No comment. Over and over. Cold, rehearsed, and disturbingly calm. Bob watched in disbelief, realizing he wasn't looking at the April he knew. This wasn't the bright, open kid he'd watched grow up. This was someone hardened, someone who'd been coached. And when Clark directly asked her if she was being exploited, April froze. It was the first crack in her armor. Bob could see her fighting something internally, but whatever held her back was stronger than her fear of the truth coming out. After the interview, Bob tried to talk to her, but she brushed it off with the same icy tone she'd used in the interrogation room. She claimed she didn't want her dad worrying over nothing, that the police had it all wrong and everything would blow over. But Bob knew better. He couldn't shake the feeling that April wasn't just scared, she was trapped. And worse, she didn't trust him enough to let him in. Then came the ultimatum. April stared Bob down and told him point blank that if he said a single word to Marlon or Rhona, she'd never speak to him again. It wasn't teenage rebellion, it was fear. A deep, bone-chilling fear that told Bob something far more dangerous was happening behind the scenes. Meanwhile, the people pulling the strings weren't backing down. Ray might have been the face of the operation, but Celia was the one with real control. She wasn't just dangerous, she was unpredictable. And April getting arrested threatened everything. The moment Ray delivered the news, Celia's reaction made it clear that April's safety was hanging by a thread. And if things got worse, it wouldn't just be April paying the price. Back in the village, Bob wrestled with a choice no grandparent should ever face. Protect a fragile trust April still had in him, or risk losing her completely by telling the truth to her family. Every instinct screamed to protect her, but the version of April he saw in that interview room kept replaying in his mind. The empty expression, the mechanical answers. The fear she was hiding, no matter how hard she tried to mask it. And just when things seemed like they couldn't get darker, whispers began spreading about Ross Barton possibly stepping into the situation. Ross, someone known for his fierce loyalty and even fiercer temper, might be the one person capable of blowing this entire operation apart. If he discovered what Ray and Celia had done, if he realized April had been pulled into their world, his retaliation wouldn't be quiet, clean, or calculated. It would be chaos, the kind that leaves nothing standing in its path. Now, Bob stands on the edge of a truth he's terrified to face. April is in deeper danger than he ever imagined, caught between criminals who see her as expendable and a family desperate to protect her. He knows one wrong move could destroy the fragile trust he has with her, but staying silent might cost her everything. And as tonight's episode unfolds, one thing is certain. April's secret is seconds away from exploding. And when it does, the fallout will shake everyone.